Hello, Inspired Nation. This is PK Kalaku, and welcome to Inspired Entrepreneur. I'm very excited about my guest today, Mr. Malusi Ramotshela. Malusi, welcome to Inspired Entrepreneur.
Thank you.
It's been a while. I've been trying to get hold of you and get to come to our studio and have a chat with you about your business, which I came across online, and I was very intrigued. It was very unique. Seeing the youth, getting into such spaces, I was very, very curious, and I wanted to sit down with you so that you can tell me more about this, because it's really great, and seeing the things that you guys are doing globally. So let's go into this. Malusi, where were you born? Where are you from?
Oh, geez, I haven't answered that in a while, except on forms. I was born in Tembisa.
So, Malusi, how was your background, like your childhood? What kind of a family did you grow up in?
Jeez. Yeah. I was raised by a woman.
A single parent?
A single mother with sisters and cousins, but I think probably till I was in matric.
Yes?
Yeah. Never, look, my nephew came through, but he arrived when I was in grade 8, but like a majority of the time I was raised by a woman. So my mother was an educator, and then she later became a principal.
At a school?
At a school, yeah.
Yes.
My sister started working, my elder sister started working, obviously, well, it's not obvious, but she's 10 years older than me, so she started working whilst I was still in school. Right, yeah. And soon after that she got into business as well, and then politics. And
so she got into business.
Yeah, she got into business.
You still in high school at the time?
Yeah. I was definitely still in school when they was in business. Yeah.
So in your family, was your sister the first person to get exposure into business, to be a business person?
No, my dad, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yes.
Yeah, my dad, without a shadow of a doubt, he was the first person who got into business. Yes. And then my sisters got into it. But in fact, my mom's the only person who was actually employed.
In the entire family?
In the entire family. Because both my sisters, okay, look, there was always work at first, and then eventually it got into business. But she's the only one who started working, never left work, stayed in business all the way through.
That's interesting. So now you grew up in Tembisa with your cousins and sisters. Sounds like a big family.
Yeah, quite.
So now you finish schooling, high school that is, and you went on to study engineering.
Correct.
In what field did you
Mechanical.
Mechanical engineering.
Yes.
Why mechanical engineering?
Very easy. I was on the highway with my dad.
Highway, as in
I was on the highway.
Yeah.
I was in grade 10 at the time.
Yeah.
I was on the highway, and when my dad's car, and he's like, "Oh, look at this car, look at this car." So he said. So he's driving, and an SL 500 drove past.
Wow, that's a machine, right?
Right, it's a machine. So he said, "That's my dream car." I said, "Now, for your dad to say that's a dream car, what was it about this car?" I was in grade 10.
Grade 10,
yeah. And then he told me a little bit about it, and I guess my curious nature, I just wanted to find out a little bit more about the car.
Yeah.
Then I came back saying, "Hey, this car had this technology back whenever." So he's like, "How did you figure that out?" I said, "No. I got a magazine."
Yes.
And I started collecting magazines. Strictly.
Are this now
car magazines? I was strictly about cars. But in particular, it was Mercedes.
Yes.
I delved into Mercedes quite hectically. I knew the stats.
Yes.
And I knew the history.
When the new model is coming.
Right. I would be excited. You know what I mean? Oh, it's here, because they get tested in either Detroit or.
And you were still a teenager at the time.
I was still in high school at the time. I was annoying, actually. You know what I mean? So it was. It was not debatable.
Yes.
Right. That I would do mechanical engineering so that I can be able to build a Mercedes. That was the point.
Wow.
The idea was to get into that because my dad he wanted to kind of like turn things. He's a very controversial guy, so he'd always want to he'd want me to be aware of the state of the country, even at a young age and stuff like that. So you'd be like, when I say I want to build a Mercedes, design and manufacture a Mercedes, you'd be like, more, you must do a transport system for all people, you know, something like that, you know. And,
very conservative.
Yeah, you know. Then you start thinking, who's our people, you know? I'm like, you know, Jared's my guy, you know, so who's who? So yeah, but ultimately it was my dad that inspired that. He introduced me to Mercedes, and then I started loving cars. When I got into mechanical engineering, that's when I discovered that the world is much bigger. Wow. Much. It is 6 months. I knew that now.
I'm thinking you sitting there thinking about the new model of the AMG that
Right.
he's gonna design.
Right,
I said, no, why not build a whole train?
Yeah, and he's like, you know, why don't you?
My mind is not there.
Right, right.
Okay, so now you finish your studying in mechanical engineering. You graduate. Did you enter any corporate space?
You know, the first job I got when I came back from school, there's a guy called Moyikwa.
Yes.
He's a friend to my sister.
All right.
And he had a partner called Paul Vibb, so there's some studio. And like I was just like loitering around. I didn't really have interest in
What
working.
were they doing at this
So
time?
they were developing content. It's a production studio, full on.
All right.
In Brum.
Braamfontein.
Right.
Yes.
So that's where I started working.
Yes.
And I was responsible because social media was creeping in. Already it was here, but like it was worthwhile to connect people with that content online and social media. So that was like kind of like my job. And whilst I was there, I actually came across something else called biomimicry.
Biomimicry.
Yeah, innovation inspired by nature.
Oh, I wanted to ask you, what is that? So it's innovation inspired by nature.
Correct.
Wow.
So I was just on a drive back from Pretoria. This guy was like talking to me. He had shot Janine Benyus, the founder in Kruger National Park. So
yes.
Well, he was telling me about that. I was like, wait, what? Technology in animals, yeah, in nature. So what happens there? So these guys found a way of tapping into those animals, those designs, and translating
Including lions.
Including lions, man, you name it, you know. I found that really interesting, and So we went on, and soon after I left Fuel Media, and then I got into work at Sabi
No,
Engineering.
wait a minute. Did you just say Fuel Media?
Fuel Media, yeah.
I know Fuel Media. I don't know if you can recall. There's a lady I knew there, Tandi.
Yeah, I know Tandi.
Tandi Mavata.
I
They
know
used
Tandi.
to be based in Auckland Park.
Correct.
By Media Mill.
The Media Mill, that's what I mean. It's not Bram, it's
Not
the
Bram,
Media
the
Mill.
Media Mill.
Correct, you're right.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
that's where I was with Paul Viv and yes, it was a team. It was great. It was great.
So help me understand. You moved from having to graduate recently from mechanical engineering to a business, which I'm assuming it was a production house, a digital creation content business.
Yeah.
What inspired the transition?
No, look,
I mean, remember you wanted to build
Mercedes, yeah. So what basically happened is that when I finished studying, it was around 2008.
Yes.
Now there was a crisis of employment.
Yes.
In fact, the only job that I got was from the Cape Town municipality.
Wow.
And my dad's like, nah.
You're not going there.
You can't stay in Cape Town because I was studying in Cape Town already. You know what I mean? It's like, no, you can't stay there the
Spend
entire
the whole
time.
more than 4 years in Cape
Yeah,
Town.
you know, and then come back.
Yeah.
No. We'll figure something out, but no, not Cape Town. So I left as a result of that,
Yes.
and then and when I was like around at home and stuff like that, my sister's business was great, so I was mobile, and you know, I was able to get myself stuff.
Yes.
And my sister just got annoyed. She's like, no, dude, you can't be just sitting here, because I had my friends living with me in my house, you know, so it was like quite hectic. So she just thought, no, I should work with Moyiko and them, and then I did that, and then after that, like I said, I got into mainstream engineering through a company called Sabi Engineering. It was not connected events.
Yes.
Like Fuel Media was not connected, or is connected to biomimicry, but biomimicry is not the reason why I got into Sabi.
Yes.
The reason why I got into Sabi is because I was tutoring a guy, a friend of mine, who was there.
Yes.
You know, so he was selling machines, and then
Okay.
I was like, well, I studied engineering, so I can help, because
Yeah.
he actually reached out.
I know a thing or two about this.
Yeah, so then I started helping out. Then he went back and told the guy who hired him that, because the guy was like, you know, how come you're getting this right? What's going on? He's like, no, I've got a guy that's tutoring me, you know, as a friend of mine, you know. And then the guy's like, oh, really? Great, cool, keep him around. And after some time, he's like, yo, that friend of yours, what did he study? And he's like, no, he studied mechanical engineering. Like, yo, can you connect us, because we need to,
Yes.
you know, I've got a bit of a situation here. And then I got through there, I got trained properly, because there's a huge gap between what's happening in school and what's happening in industry.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
That's true. But then you are now at Sabi. Are you thinking at the time that even though I am a mechanical engineer, but are you thinking to be in business yourself at the time, or are you just enjoying the perks of working for an engineering business?
Enjoying the perks. The first thing that happened, I worked in Sabi for the first 2 years. My dad wanted to buy it, wanted to buy the company.
What motivated him to buy the company?
The future I had for it.
The vision you had.
Yeah.
And obviously, since it's a father-son relationship, you would share with him
Exactly.
your future plans.
Exactly.
About the business, where do you sit, maybe
Yeah,
5
yeah.
years' time or so.
Yeah, so the first thing that happened, that the first person who actually attempted to buy Sabi was my dad. And really it was just about the future of the company.
Yes.
And by then I was really on to this, because by that time I'd risen. I was no longer just assisting the guy who owns the company
Yes.
in doing designs and stuff, but I was in many ways running the engineering department.
Was it like a small business?
It is a small
How big
business.
was the company?
About 18 mil a year in engineering, and I'd say maybe 7-8 million in services.
Or so they have different facets?
Yeah, just got 2 departments.
Oh, interesting.
So
your father now has aspirations to buy the business.
Yes, because of the future. And he, not only was he convinced, but after he spoke to the guy who owns the company,
Yes.
he was convinced that it can go there.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's a lily white company. We're in South Africa. You need transformed companies. You need to be relevant. The political climate was right. You know what I mean? So it was, let's go.
And a huge potential for growth, of course.
Oh, absolutely.
Accessing different markets. Slowly.
Absolutely. You know, Sabi was still now, without a doubt, is the leader in terms of water and wastewater treatment technology.
Yes.
Of what it makes,
Yes.
air blowers. And there was great potential to grow.
Yes.
You know, not only growing the actual technology
Yes.
into other aspects of applications within the thing, but the main thing was the growth of the company holistically in
Yes.
product, quality management services, different industries, capacity, people in the company. So yeah.
Interesting. I mean, from media to now finally getting into engineering, living that space, getting into business. When
Yeah.
did this all start? To say, you know what, I'm hanging my boots now. I need to be my own. Let me start managing my time and running my entity. When did this idea come from?
Running my own entity, that came after a bit of a while. But leaving Sabi to get into business
Yes.
started with a friend of mine, Theo.
Yes.
He was in business. Look, I got into that company as an employee.
Yes.
But I was very much a part of its growth, its foundation and stuff like that. So my friend, and like he hates it when I say he's my mentor, but like in a way he really is. You know, I look up to him in many ways. And so Theo wanted to get into business distributing electric motors.
All right.
And his father-in-law, who later became my mentor, was supporting us. This is a visionary leader.
Is he a business person
Yeah,
himself?
yeah, absolutely. And he's built businesses. You know, he understands. And so he gave us a small budget, and he said, like, you know, build this company.
Yes.
So Theo and I started building. Theo also left. He was at Deloitte. He left, and he joined this company, and we went full on. And after a while, that company, look, we built it to a point where it was able, its next move was to buy another company.
Yes.
And then really transform and grow from there.
Yes.
And that was a beautiful transition, and it worked great.
That's interesting.
But for me, the passion was challenged. You know, I love engineering, but not at that level, not where I'm not making stuff.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm selling stuff on. It was a bit of a challenge, and they moved into like a repair space and stuff. It was a beautiful transition.
Diversified.
Yeah, but like for me personally, it became a bit of an issue. And in fact, I left Saab in 2014. Then I went back again 2015.
Okay, that's not so long ago.
Yeah.
So it sounds to me like you had proper people around you, like a very good surrounding as far as mentorship is concerned. You mentioned your friend's father-in-law, you mentioned your father, your sister, who happened to be an entrepreneur at the time. How do you think mentorship plays a critical role into anyone? But in this case, for you as an entrepreneur, how do you think mentorship, do you think it's necessary for you to have a mentor?
It's critical. Necessary is the right word. It's critical. For many reasons. One, whatever it is that you're doing, you have to have a sense of vision.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And because of the fact that there is a vision, it means there's a route that leads you there.
Yes.
But that route has been walked before.
Yes.
And not by you.
Yes, absolutely.
And different aspects. Someone has walked that aspect. So, Theo and my mentor, he used to read a book to us, Good to Great by Jim Collins.
Good to Great. Yeah,
right.
Book, yeah.
And mentor us from that perspective. And they went on, Theo and my mentor, to start a completely new business called Unleashing Leadership Potential, where he would literally get industry leaders, people that you'll never, put your money in Tlekov. Yeah, you're never gonna come across that guy. Bump into him anyway.
You can't access him.
He doesn't even. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he'd bring that guy and say, "What are your leadership skills? What's going on?" And it grew. They've got a house now. It's like a flipping campus.
So it's still happening to this day.
Yeah. I'll send you invites. It's definitely still happening. It's a massive thing, but mainly because they're addressing the issue of leadership.
Yes.
Which is a critical issue just in the entire continent.
Absolutely.
But mentorship is very important as well. Very important aspect. Another friend of mine, great guy, Itumeleng G. He started a company called Mentorship Roundtable.
All right.
Strictly to mentor students.
Yes. Are these students at a tertiary level?
Yeah, tertiary level. Yeah, it was a student, right? A learner is in high school and primary, but a student is a person who's acquiring skills.
Absolutely.
In a tertiary education.
Yes.
Mentorship is critical, man. Both these companies, I respect them a lot, mainly because they're addressing serious issues.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And I guess these issues, you and I are both young, we're youth, so as young people, we need to surround ourselves with these great leaders and mentors to, like you mentioned earlier on, someone has walked that path.
Absolutely.
The path that you aspire is to see your vision maybe in 5-10 years time. So it's good that you believe in mentorship. But now your sister was in business. What influenced you as Malusi to say, I now want to be an entrepreneur, I'm tired of working, I want to run my own business? How did you make that move? Was it difficult?
It was, but again, my dad was quite cautious about the people around me. At some point, he actually invited all my friends just to come, and he wanted everybody to just give like the people that were sitting there like a picture, but where do they see themselves, what's happening and all that.
What's their plan, what's their
exactly. So that I actually didn't realize at the time that it was just for me to be able to align. Okay, but
But did your friends knew what they were coming from?
I don't think anybody had an idea. You know what I mean? It was just supposed to be a session.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Which is actually quite great because most parents don't have that time.
Yes.
Anymore.
Yes.
But my dad has always like asked me what the problem is.
But there's a saying. They say that you're an average of the people that you keep around. So I'm glad about what your father is doing, and I think if you're a parent yourself, I don't know, but this is something that we should continue doing.
Absolutely.
Because it's very easy to lose focus, for example, because of the company you keep.
Absolutely.
So rather spend your time with the people that, if I can't help you, help me, or someone can help you, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And also the things we talk about, don't waste my time because it's very critical, and I very, very, very respect my time.
Yes.
So now, okay, your dad, the mentor.
Oh yeah. To answer your question, sorry to interject. So what inspired that?
Yes.
Primarily my dad, from a physical perspective, because he wanted me to be conscious of what the physical problem is.
Yes.
That inequality stuff, because he was like, hectic and liberation, stuff like that, and other things, you know what I mean? And so that played a huge role. I'm a Christian.
Okay.
Yeah. And from that perspective, the idea of doing, of how am I going to maximize my time on earth?
Yes.
That it was apparent to me. There's just, employment is great, but there's just not enough time. For example, at work, there's a time to stop working.
Absolutely.
And everybody celebrates that.
I also think that employment is not really a destination for most of us. Yes, we can work, but is it really your purpose?
Yeah.
To be a chartered accountant, is it really your purpose to be an engineer? Someone like yourself is an engineer / entrepreneur who's tend to be an entrepreneur. You realize quickly that, this is great, but it's not all me. I think there's more that I can contribute to this universe. And you did that. You started your own business. So the word Indalo, because your company is Indalo Deco.
Right, right.
Does it mean anything? What does it mean?
Okay, now let's just start with Indalo. When I joined Sawabi,
Yes.
in fact, once I was still at tertiary,
Yes.
I bumped into a friend of mine, a guy, in fact, not even a friend. I had seen him around at the student center. I was quite the popular dude.
How so? Please take us through it.
I mean, a walk that would take 10 minutes from
Yes.
the student center to my faculty
Yes.
could take 30 minutes. Because
Okay.
I'm greeting this guy and that guy or whatever.
Really?
Yeah, because I went to school.
Even just random guys.
Just random guys. I went to school at Belleville in Cape Town, CPUT. Now, as a Joburger who loved soccer and I played football quite a lot there, I connected with them.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And we connected quite well on that. So we'd always greet and whatever, you know what I mean? Played at Reyes and stuff. So, and this other dude was quite popular as well in his own respect, I guess. You know what I mean? So I had seen him, but we have never really engaged.
Connected.
Yeah, you know what I mean? He'd walk with a couple of guys that I know, like, yo, what's up? Like I mentioned, a greeting, nothing too hectic. So I was at the student center once and he came. Standing there with some people and came through. Looked a bit depressed. It's like, yo, what's wrong with you, man?
You okay?
You know?
Yeah.
And he's like, nah, he just broke up with his girlfriend.
All right.
But that's not the problem. I'm like, so what's the issue?
It's just one of the problems.
Yeah. So I'm like, what's the issue? He's like, nah, I was staying with her, so I need to move out.
Wow.
I'm like, okay. So it's not a one-on-one conversation with many other people.
Yes.
And so this guy turns around and says, no, he's gonna stay with the guy, but he's a bit uncomfortable because the guy smokes weed.
All right.
Man, I connected with that guy, man. I was like, no, you see, surely this is a problem that I can solve.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Not that difficult.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I said, yo, I didn't know him.
At all.
At all. I said, come stay with me. So right then and there, you know, the guys we were with turned and looked at me like, you know, what is going on? I said, come stay with me, man. You know, he said, cool. And it's a very smooth transition. And so I noticed something about this guy. Look, he was dressed really nicely. I'd never seen his clothes before. I'm not like a crazy shopper or anything like that, but I'd never seen his clothes.
Pay too much attention on how somebody looks.
So I asked him, yo, man, those are fresh jeans, man.
Yes.
Promise you, his response was, no, I made it myself. We're in school.
Yes.
He's wearing clothes he's made himself. He's studying graphic design at the time. I was like,
also was a bit artistic.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, and then I was like, gee, it was okay. That's wow.
That's dope.
That's amazing.
That looks
and
good.
then we hit it off, and that guy.
Yes.
That's Inga.
Oh, that's Inga.
That's Inga.
Interesting story, eh?
That's Inga.
Of how you met him.
That's how I met that guy.
It's very fascinating.
So then, we hit it off, man.
Yes.
We hit it off really well. My girlfriend flew in from Joburg, and we had a great session, and he was having a discussion with my girlfriend. This is what he told me.
Yes.
When I was trying to...
His version.
Yeah. He said to me, you know, I actually came to Joburg because of a conversation I had with your girl. That's what made me decide. Because I was selling Joburg. You can't stay here. You have to go to Joburg.
Yes.
And he's like, no. Yeah, look, he listened to me, but when he really decided, I'm going to Joburg after this.
So hold on right there. When you say he decided to come to Joburg, I'm assuming now you done studying.
No. We were still at school, but we were finishing off. All of us were finishing off.
But he had no intentions or plans.
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, Inga started a company whilst we were still in school.
Yes.
He was just doing websites and stuff like that with some of the guy viewing.
Not even clothing, even though he was good at making his own clothes.
Yeah, no, he had another concept called Tribe.
Yeah.
Man, one session with Inga, man. One session.
Yes.
Your mind was buzzing.
Wow.
And yeah, we hit it off. So when I got into Sabi, he told me that, look, I started this thing in Dalo, whatever, because we went apart for a while. He's one of my friends that lived with me at my house when I came back from school.
Yes.
When I was here, when I went to Fuel Media and stuff like that. He was still at my house.
So you continued to live together?
Yeah, we stayed together.
From campus?
Absolutely.
After school?
All the way. I mean, there was breaks in between. Like he stayed somewhere else in town and Cape Town, stuff like that. But yeah, and then it was great. And we went to... So when I was at Sawabi, when I started working, he started Indalo.
Oh,
in Cape Town.
Yeah, they say,
right. But he needed money.
Yes.
right? And I knew the person he was. I knew that I could not allow that to slow him down.
Yes.
I couldn't do that. So for about 2 years, I financed it.
All
you
right.
know, the very first guy that actually financed Indalo, in fact, we actually had a discussion with Inga about this
Yes.
ages ago, was a guy called Mario.
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 Okay.
Yeah. So he put up for the very first samples that were made, the ones that got Cape Town going nuts.
Wow.
And then
Are we talking clothing?
no, we're talking Indalo bags now.
Oh, bags,
Indalo
yeah.
decor, wooden
Yes,
bags,
yes.
you know. And then from then onwards, I started financing. Then after then, he invited me to join the company, and then
Yeah.
I invited my sister. We had a thing, and then yeah. So ultimately, that's how Indalo really got to even move from Cape Town and Paarden Island to Tembisa.
All right.
Yeah.
So you operate from Tembisa in the east end of Johannesburg. What's your presence online? Because I've seen your products; they're very beautiful, by the way. So most of your market, is it online or is it walk-ins? How do you get most of your clients?
Look, most of the people that seem to have an interest in Indalo are still, it was first a lot of tourists, but I think that was mainly because we were selling at the waterfront.
Yes.
Now it first balanced out, then it became mainly local.
Yes.
For many reasons. We meeting, we have an interview now, and then you go, look, what's the new range? I'll show you the new range you want to buy.
Yes.
So that sort of thing was happening. But we still do have quite a few people in Egypt and Brazil. I'm just giving the few that I remember now. It's
Yes.
Egypt, Brazil, Kenya,
Yes.
Australia,
Yes.
and a couple other places in Europe. Just like those are the guys that are like, if I had to go on my Facebook now, on the page,
Okay.
that's like the top messages. Those are guys that I remember. But there's many others,
Yeah.
many others
Can you
in
imagine?
Asia and all that. And also with us having to travel around the world exhibiting the products,
Yes.
that gave us access to the global market.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Inga did build the company very well because for a very long time we were centered around him. And
Yeah, of course. I mean, I can imagine.
Yeah.
He started this ship.
absolutely,
And then
absolutely.
everybody knows it better. It's him.
Absolutely,
He's the go-to guy.
absolutely,
All of you
and
guys
yeah,
learn from
yeah,
him.
yeah.
Yes.
So he propelled it in because Inga certainly does have global presence, at least in my opinion. You know what I mean? And the accolades speak for themselves.
Yes.
You know, he was in top 5 in Forbes, and those sort of things. You know, because
Is this now Forbes under 30?
no, I think it was top 5 designers in Africa.
Oh,
something to that
category.
effect. Yeah. It was not 30.
Yeah.
He made a top 200 though.
Million Guardian.
Yes.
Alright, I know that.
So during that time, those sort of accolades really helped us.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, they put you
Yeah,
in maps.
Yeah, because his brand was
Yeah.
pushing the
Yeah.
Indalo Decor brand.
So
Yeah.
you mentioned tapping into global markets,
Yeah.
overseas markets. How did that come about?
Firstly, it was interest from the people.
Yes.
Right. With social media, the world has become small. It's in your phone. It's in your
True.
pocket.
True.
And but the second aspect, with us having to now actually go out and meet people,
Yes.
that came through a program with the DTI,
Okay.
through a company called
The
Saflec.
DTI is the Department of
Trade and Industry, correct,
Because
yeah.
you know our listeners, we cannot assume they know what the DTI
Yes,
is.
yes,
So it's
yes,
better we say
Correct. Yes. So
Yeah.
the Department of
Yeah.
Trade and Industry has got multiple programs. One of which is with Saflec, and they Saflec, yeah.
Would you mind just to explain to our listeners?
So Saflec is a non-profit organization that works with the DTI.
Yes.
Their objective is to increase the export of leather goods.
to increase the export of leather.
Right. So other businesses and other people, not really people, but businesses
Yes.
buying from us.
Yes.
So they place us in exhibitions. So they identify exhibitions around the world,
Yes.
and you basically apply and you go on there.
Take your sample.
Exactly. And then people, because the exhibitions we go to, businesses go to them.
Absolutely.
Buyers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
You know what I
need
mean?
to source new products.
Absolutely. And then they find you there, then that's how you then get an opportunity to increase the products that you did. I mean, we did, I think, over 100,000 in Dubai.
Or units.
Yeah. One order, one go.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Not,
That's amazing.
It's a relationship we built over time.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's
But the
boosted.
contact was at Dubai Leather World.
That's where it happened.
Yeah.
At the exhibition.
Absolutely.
So they actually do work, this exhibition.
Yeah, they absolutely
We
do.
recommend that any young manufacturer of a good or service in South Africa to tap into these opportunities. You
Yeah.
mentioned Saflec,
Yeah.
which
GTI. Look,
GTI, yes.
The Saflec is an organization, like any other organization, it's got its challenges. All right?
Absolutely, yes.
Right. And the Department of Trade and Industry has got its red tape.
Absolutely.
But I'm not necessarily going to talk about those two organizations. I'm going to talk about exhibitions.
Yes.
They can work for you.
Yes.
It depends on how you approach. The first time I went there, I just had bags. People were going crazy. Lots of inquiries, not one order.
Yes.
You get on transfer. In fact, lots of contacts.
But I'm sure from there, relationships were built.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now that's the thing.
Yes.
So how you must change how you approach an exhibition.
Yes.
You must firstly research what is this exhibition. You know what I mean? Try find a way of arranging meetings before the exhibition. Because I mean you're going to be in Tokyo for like a week.
Yes.
So you're not going to be there the entire time. So arrange meetings. You're going to be in Vegas for like a week. So arrange meetings ahead.
Meet the relevant people
Exactly.
who are in the same field of business.
Exactly. Using Facebook, LinkedIn, meet them.
Absolutely.
And just other contacts. I spoke to Inga a couple times. Hey man, listen, I'm going to Vegas. I've got an exhibition in Indalo. Oh, Indalo, great.
Yes.
Why don't you speak to whoever? I know a guy who went there.
Yes.
Just like that.
So
I'll connect you.
Absolutely. Because of social media,
Absolutely.
like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Wow. No, I can imagine now, Malusi, the business is growing. There's this overseas market that you need to serve. Are there any challenges now that because moving to serving 10 customers in South Africa, now you have to send an order of 1,000 to Dubai, for example? What sort of challenges are you encountering along the way?
Very simple. Very straightforward as well. Capacity. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Whatever it is that you need to produce, especially in the product business, what's your capacity? That's the question. Yes. What's your capacity? I mentioned Saflec earlier.
Yes.
Saflec yesterday sent me an email.
Yes.
That I must submit some documentation for an exhibition in Dubai next year.
Next year. Yes.
It's in 7 months.
All right.
But the procedure is that I have to send samples there. Now, the size of the business that I have,
yes,
making product,
yes,
sending it down to KZN,
yes,
but I'm only going to use a product in 7 months.
Yes.
Do I have the capacity for that? I can't afford to hold product in inventory.
Yes.
I can't.
There's a client waiting
exactly
for the delivery, maybe next week, maybe
because we're a small business,
yes,
right?
Yes.
We can't hold a lot of reserves. You know what I mean? We should. You know, that's why we actually decided that we're going to get into a store.
Yes.
Because we wanted to get into that. But that's one of the lessons that we learned, that having a store means putting money into product.
This is not part of your distribution strategy to say, because of capacity is so limited, let's rather maybe get our products into store ABC.
Yes, so not our store.
Oh,
our own store, 77 Juta Street, our own store. We ended up having to change that model.
7 Juta Street, this is
77.
in Braamfontein.
In Braam, yeah.
Oh, 77, not
yeah.
Okay.
70, no, you 77, yes.
70 in Braamfontein.
Yes.
Okay, no.
72.
Sometime.
Yeah. No, we decided to change that model.
Yes.
Right, we couldn't have that store anymore. And the simple reason is because the capacity.
Yes.
Right, we're selling a lot on Facebook, we're selling a lot online.
Yes.
Why must we have a store? It's got a great, the retail aspect is phenomenal.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I get it. It's also about where you position yourself and stuff like
Absolutely.
that. But
yes,
the answer to your question,
yes,
exhibitions, everything, even new industries that you get into capacity. Do you have the capacity to design? Do you have the capacity to manufacture? Do you have the capacity to hold the stock? You know, because that hits your cash flow.
Yeah.
Do you have the capacity to deliver?
Capacity.
Time. What's your capacity? Yeah.
Interesting. So Indalo has been going for how long now?
Since 2012.
Oh, it's been quite some time. Yeah. This is 2018, so that's what, 5 years?
5 years, yeah.
Wow, interesting. So capacity, one of the challenges in terms of, I mean, there's a guest or two maybe probably listening to this podcast right now, thinking, okay, this sounds like a very interesting entrepreneur with a very great business, you know, with all these things that side nice, global markets and everything. What advice would you give to an aspiring entrepreneur who wants to get into business? Perhaps maybe a design business like yourself, manufacturing and design.
The first one, I think a sense of vision is critical.
Vision.
Yeah. Right. Where are you going? Right. Secondly, a friend of mine actually likes saying this, like I invited him to come speak often, is what's your market research? But like the truth is that, what do you understand about what you're doing? You know, I funded Inga.
Yes.
and then I got into the business.
Yes.
And then I learned the ropes.
Yes.
So by the time
From
it was
him, because
exactly
he was already in the business.
exactly.
Yes.
By the time it was time for Inga to move on,
Yes.
Indalo did not collapse.
Yes.
In fact, Indalo grew. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Grew in the number of products we had,
Yes.
wooden bags.
Yes.
Grew in the industries that we're servicing. We got into hospitality. We got into early childhood development.
Yes.
So, what do you know about what you're doing? You see, epistemologically, you need to be ready. In other words,
What is that? What is the...
what that is the amount of knowledge that you have. What does it amount to?
Oh, yes.
Right. So
What does
now,
it equate to?
exactly.
Yes.
Because we need to get to that.
Yes.
There are times where that's why people will have a great idea, but they need to hire people to do that work.
Yes.
It's not just about the amount of work that needs to be done. You'll find that that person's skilled.
Yes.
Or that person's talented in something that you don't know.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So surround yourself with a team.
Yes.
There's something that you can execute and vice versa. So you need to realize this is my strength, this is my weakness. And
Yeah.
where you have a weakness,
Yeah.
you get someone. You recruit someone to become part of the team.
Yeah.
And that person solely focus on that.
Yeah.
Crazy
Your
stuff.
environment is key. So a sense of vision is critical, and the vision will, without a shadow of a doubt, lead you to your mentor.
Yes.
No doubt about it.
The dots will connect.
Exactly.
Somehow, yeah.
And what you know is going to influence what your plan is.
Yes.
Right? Because you're going to have to take what you know and put it on a plan. That's
Absolutely.
where you'll realize that, oh, in actual fact, I don't have the capacity to do this thing.
Yes.
In terms of labor now.
Absolutely.
I need to partner with Paseka, I need to partner with that company
Yes.
or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
either you're going to partner with
Different
the person.
growth stage. You know,
exactly.
when you have hit the level where you can't now
Absolutely.
operate
Yeah.
in solo.
Yeah.
So now, tell me about the future plans for Indalo. Let's say maybe in the next 3 to 4 years, where do you see yourself as an entity going through?
The first one that I thought it was a bit audacious, but it makes a lot of sense now. The first thing, there's a very good opportunity to be an industry leader.
Yes. Position yourself
Yeah.
as an industry leader.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the position that we're in right now, we are likely going to take over.
I love the sound of
Yeah.
that.
You see, we are likely going to take over. I'm looking at why people are doing what they're doing. What are the trends?
Yes.
And from the trends,
We're talking now global. trends,
Yes.
Not only in South Africa.
yeah, not just
Global
what's happening.
trends.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
People have known the Germans and the Japanese to be quite curious and innovative.
Yes.
When they start asking, "How did you make this?"
Yes.
It means that you are at the forefront in terms of that aspect.
Curious.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You are leading them in terms of knowledge about how to make that type of product.
Yes.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So I think in the next 3 to 4 years,
Yes.
we are likely going to definitely lead the industry.
Yes.
Globally, we may have some competition.
Yes.
But if I look at why global companies are coming to Indalo,
Yes.
when we go for an exhibition,
Yes.
there's people who want to buy the product for distribution.
Yes.
There's people who want us, based on what they're looking at, to make things for them.
Yes. But now these things for them, do they have to be tailor-made to their needs?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Like there's a company, a high-end jewelry company in Italy.
Yes.
They have got a partnership with Swarovski crystals.
Yes, Swarovski.
They would like to partner with us now
Yes.
to make their products.
Wow.
They're not the only ones.
Yes.
They are not the only ones. There's some other guys in Japan and Tokyo that I met there. In fact, I met the Italians in Japan as well. They were exhibiting with us.
Yes.
You know what I mean? They just saw, they will walk around, they saw us and they thought, hey, we could have something. We had a Skype meeting.
Yes.
Or they had a Skype meeting with their boss and then they came to me saying, we'll go.
Yes.
So there's that sort of thing. There's other guys who wanted us to package shoes for them.
Yes.
Another company in Cape Town owned by a friend of mine, Roxanne, great
Yes.
entrepreneur, phenomenal woman. She manufactures shoes. She wanted us to do some packaging. So the reason why they're coming to us is because they can see the quality and the beauty of our product.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna lead in that aspect. In terms of industrial design and manufacturing,
Yes.
we're definitely gonna lead.
Yes.
Early childhood development,
Yes.
we've got a very good chance because our competition is Chinese-made puzzles. We make puzzles as well.
Puzzles, yeah.
Yeah.
Games, yeah.
We make puzzles, yeah. For the benefits of the children. I've got children. My children were playing with, one of my sons was playing with a puzzle.
Yes.
And I
Are
inquired.
this now educational puzzles?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Jigsaw, 3D. You
Yes.
know what I mean? So I went to his school. I said, listen, my son's struggling with a puzzle. Right? At the time, he was, I think, about 2 years and 2 months.
Yes.
Right? And I said, what's your solution? What's happening? I want to know.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing about the puzzles?
How are you addressing this problem?
Exactly.
Yes.
I discovered that they've got a problem.
Yes.
Not only do they have a problem, but the entire group of schools, because they are part of a group of schools.
Yes.
So I discovered that, no, that's an issue. And then I went on to do some work with a non-profit organization in Cape Town.
Yes.
Puzzles, okay? Fashion, obviously, all right? We've got a unique product.
Yes.
A very unique product. No one else makes a wooden bag. In fact, the people that are making wooden bags, like there's a guy in Eastern Cape who actually called me.
Yes.
He actually wanted to get help. And I offered the help. I said, we can help you.
Yes.
What's your design? We can help. We can make it for you if you
Yes.
want. You know what I mean? Because wooden bag is associated with Indalo, period.
That's how you manage to position yourself
Yeah.
in the market.
That's
and
it.
hence you said earlier on that you see nothing else but to be a market leader.
Yeah.
That's your
Yeah,
plan. That's
absolutely.
what you're working on. Yes.
I've looked at other guys that are doing industrial design and manufacturing. Man, they're shipping products from China. They're bringing them to guys like Indalo, like us, to either engrave them. They're taking them to other guys to print, like Indalo, to print their products. But they're not making stuff.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We're making a smartwatch now.
Yes. Interesting.
We're not wiring it here
Yeah.
because of costs.
Yes.
We also looked at what are the guys in Taiwan doing and stuff like that. Yeah. But the fact of the matter is that we're making our own straps. We're making the housing. They're just giving us the screen and stuff, the things that are hard to get here.
Yes.
Not like the stuff that we are competing against. So,
Of course.
3 to 4 years, industry leader across early childhood development, fashion, and actually hospitality.
Yes.
In December last year, we got a call from the world famous Chef Coco. He's got a restaurant
really?
in
Chef
Sandton.
Coco?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
So he called up and he said, look, in fact, the company that came to us is DGB. DGB, they distribute Bacardi, they distribute Grey Goose, they distribute a whole lot of wines.
Okay.
One of which is Boschendal.
Okay.
Boschendal
I
Winery.
know
So
that.
they wanted me to make a wooden wine list
Yes.
for Epicure, the restaurant in Sandton.
Yes.
I submitted samples. The chef was impressed with the product.
Yes.
But he wanted to know who the company is. Because it was obviously
The
not
story
DGB.
behind the company.
Exactly,
Yes.
yeah. So then I submitted some profiles, some catalogs, and he said, can I meet you? Then when we met, he said, look, thank you for the wine list. Can I take you to my restaurant, please? Got there, was a construction site. He said, I want you to do everything here.
In terms of the design.
Everything, signage, menus, you name it. Everything, everything that you, look, Epicure is about the experience. Everything that you're gonna touch at Epicure, not really, no, okay, let me be humble a bit and say quite a large majority of what forms a part of the Epicure experience.
Yes.
Right, in terms of product, not food, because that's, we wouldn't make food.
Yes.
Is designed and manufactured by Indalo.
Interesting.
Yeah. So hospitality is going to be huge, no doubt about that. And also, if I look at the company I was working with,
Yes.
it's not small companies on the Epicure restaurant. I mean, there's a really great interior designer that was working there.
Yes.
2 of them actually. The other one is a Musa. The other one is I forgot her name. Should kill me, but nonetheless,
Alright,
yeah.
yeah.
So we did great work together, but those companies are much more established than Indalo. But what Indalo does, they're the best at it.
Yeah.
That's why those guys would even recommend. We didn't just get work from Epicure, but we got work from them as well for Epicure.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So they respected us. So 3 to 4 years, industry leader. Without a sort of a doubt, I believe in 3 to 4 years we're going to make a serious dent on the 51% unemployment of the youth.
Wow.
Last
That's
year,
very great, because as you know, especially here in South Africa, we have a huge problem.
we have a crisis, man.
You call it that again.
We have a
It's
crisis,
serious
seriously.
crisis. And in fact, I think a few weeks ago, the new numbers that were released by Stats SA, the number went up now, because
It's more than
there
51%.
are more young people who are unemployed
Wow.
today than before. So I guess entrepreneurship is the only way, fortunately, or I don't know if it's unfortunate, that can address the issue of unemployment, because we cannot solve it without having new businesses, small SMEs which will employ 2, 5, 10 people.
Yes.
Without that, I mean, let's just forget about solving the employment issue. So it's very important that we support youth-owned businesses also. And fortunately, in our country, in South Africa, here we have got a lot of agencies that support small businesses, as you know.
Right.
Malusi, I really like, man, your vision, and I can see where Indalo is going in the future. And I think I really like your plan. I have no doubt that it's going to work out. But also, there must be something that drives you, man. There must be something that inspires you to wake up every day, to do what you do. You've got your reasons, I've got my reasons, but now I want to hear your reasons. What inspires you to do what you do every day?
God.
God.
Yeah.
Yes.
You see, if you read the Bible, you're going to get two things.
Yes.
You're going to be inspired.
Yes.
Or you're going to get a revelation.
Yes.
Right? I could mention other things.
Yes.
But it all comes back to God for me. You know, I've been blessed with a wonderful family.
Yes.
I've realized that it's a blessing because I've been around. There's no families. You know, it's handsome guys with great cars, nice houses.
Yes.
But there's no families. So a family must be a blessing.
It's probably empty inside. Very
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a family
No
must be
home
a
to
blessing.
go to.
Absolutely.
You know? Yes.
So without a shadow of a doubt, I could mention my family. I could mention the position that I'm in.
Yes.
The person that I'm married to, Letabo.
Yes.
She's got an engineering background, but we're both organic intellectuals. You know what I mean? There's Indalo, there's Tsokota Engineering, there's, now recently we started a street food market in Tembisa.
Yes.
So there's so many different things that we understand that we are in a position to solve.
Yes.
You understand what I'm trying to say? So what inspires me can only be the reason why we're doing that. And that reason is in the Bible.
Yes.
The Bible, which is written by God. So it has to be God.
Yes.
For me, the inspiration is entirely God.
Wow.
It's God.
Wow, that's a very good meaning as to why you do what you do, man. Because we have all these different reasons. Could be some people could say, I want a nice car, or I want a house by the hills. But I'm very touched that you mentioned God. I'm a Christian myself, by the way. So, God is our strength, man. That's where we derive our strength from every day. Without Him, I don't think we'd have the ability and the strength to do what we do every day. He's our pillar. He's our pillar, man, because some days are good, some days are bad, but you need to know that you're not alone.
Yeah.
There's someone looking over you. And another thing that's important is family.
Yeah.
Because I believe that if you don't have a good support structure around you, always surrounded by negative people, it's very easy to drain your energy. And next when you give up on your dreams, there was a vision, now it's blank. You can't see what's going on.
Yeah.
Wow. Malusi, I'm very inspired, man. I hope that all our listeners are also inspired, and that from this conversation we just had, they will derive a thing or two that they can apply from today in their own lives, or maybe share with a friend or a fellow entrepreneur, as this entrepreneurship podcast.
Yeah.
But on that note, I would like to thank you so much, man, for coming through to our studios and for this wonderful chat. Well, guys, this was Malusi Ramotshela. Thank you so much. This is PK Galaku, and this was another episode of Inspired Entrepreneur. Cheers.
Cheers.